Breakfast. Now, across the country, fears over school safety continues to rise as kidnappings, bandit attacks, and violent raids disrupt learning environments. Parents, teachers, and students now live with constant sense of uncertainty, with many communities unable to guarantee the protection of their classrooms. Now, these repeated incidents have reignited a national conversation about whether the current centralized policing system can adequately respond to threats that are local, fast-moving, and often unpredictable. Joining us for this very important conversation is Convener Campaign for Dignity in Governance, Mr. Razak Olokoba. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's a morning. I don't know what to say, if it's a happy morning or a sad morning, but we're in the middle. And we've been talking about insecurity. We've been talking about all of this. State policing. This is not the first time we've heard you here talking about state policing. But before we even go to that, recently we've seen the amount of kidnappings. It's like you wake up each morning and something has happened. We saw Kwara. We saw KB girls, 25 KB girls, in the church, Kwara as well. It's coming at a time that, America has their eyes on us. And we're wondering that, why are we still waking up to these kind of things? Is it orchestrated by some certain people that do not want peace and tranquility in Nigeria? What can be the reason? We also see that the president has said that, he's removing police officers from VIPs. Is this enough? Now we're bringing back state policing to the table. Is this the right time? Have we gotten to the place where we say, no matter what, we need to enforce the state policing?
Well, I like your intro, when you said in between, because things seems to be stabilizing when it comes to sectors by sector. Look at oil and gas, we know it's predictable now. If there's an increase, we know the reason. If there's a decline in price, we know the reason. If you look at agriculture, we are making sense in terms of what is the price of foodstuff is staying about in the market. And the power sector, all state governors who are not looking in the direction of generating power for themselves is on serious now. So it's a shock that this kind of thing is coming, befalling us. And that is why we have to look at it based on the ideology of experts in political science. When you look at sovereignty, sovereignty is from the people. The moment Trump said what he said, it embodies them, because it means that their onslaught is gaining recognition.
That's right. So
what they want to do is to take away the sovereignty from the government, such that when people begin to negotiate with them, when people begin to talk to them, that sovereignty has cracked. And that's the direction we must begin to look at. It happens in Afghanistan. Got to a point they have to sit down with the Taliban. We must not get to the point where we will be sitting down to negotiate with ISWAP and Boko Haram. And we are going to an incipient stage now. About 7, 8 years ago, I traveled to Benin Kebbi. I saw Boko Haram checkpoint. I saw bandit checkpoint. And I saw military and police checkpoint. That is not a good development. That was then. Now, today, the period between 7 to 8 years to this time is gaining so much momentum. And that is why every Nigerian should be bothered. And which brings me to the question of state police. The president is doing so well. Last week, I had an inkling on what is the fear of Nigerians about state police. The Commissioner for Police did a very meticulous presentation. I listened to him carefully. And in fact, the academic presentation should be turned into a document of engagement. We need people like that to be in police. We need more of his likes. He pointed the areas of challenges in support of the current structure. I mentioned the case of India and things like that, but that's not a replacement for state police. All our fears. A patient who is undergoing pain needs a surgery. So anybody who push an argument that they want to inflict more pain to your surgery makes sense, but the doctor will insist. Public administrators has made it clear to us that this policing system in Nigeria will never guarantee us security that we aspire for. Yes, India, they gave example of India, that India is a unified police system. And we say that there's what is called an ecology of public administration. If you look at the immigration system all over the world, it differs. In Dubai, if you are not above 40 as a lady, you can't travel. In America, it's not like that. So ecology of public administration indicates that each country will define their own policy based on their peculiarity. So in Nigeria, when we came about to talk about what is Nigeria, we said, don't attempt to have a strong center. Sadana said so. Tafawa Balewa said so. Awolowo said so. The Sixth said so. The era of erosion since 1966 is what we are battling.
Yes.
We can't have a country as big as Nigeria and everything will be centralized, starting with the policing system. See, how can I come to a state and be dying for you in Kwara, and there's no person in Kwara that should be willing to defend the society? It doesn't make sense anywhere in the world. Why will someone from Enugu go to Sokoto? You'll be dying for people in Sokoto. The Sokoto people will be sleeping in their own house. So from that little explanation, people should get the point we are making. Then when it comes to intelligence, I studied political science. And political science, there's another way where we are taught security. There's a barrier in intelligence. If I don't know you, I will not divulge anything to you. But the locals will know their terrain. They will understand the challenge they are going through. They will easily share it with their brothers, that this is our challenge. And their brothers will know the implication. Thirdly, when other states are moving forward, and when you are bedeviled with your own crisis, you don't want to solve it, that's your problem. That's your problem. Yeah, other states will move on. And it's going to be an inspiration. If you look at what is happening in Lagos today now, with the challenge Sanwo-Olu has faced, COVID-19, and it's surging on. So other states will tell their government, you don't have an excuse. We know what happened in Lagos. We know how many vehicles that were born to. And look at the man standing on the street.
Is he on this?
So each state will move and design their own peculiarity. In some states, for instance, states, we don't need too much roadblocks in Lagos because of the heavy. But in some states, there should be roadblock. Then I do now sit in Abuja. And the guy there should be roadblock in 36 states. Him only. And that's the reason why our police officers, we have to engage them like that police commissioner. You need to engage him more. Let him understand.
I like the perspective.
Police system, state police, it's not against police, it's not the Nigerian police, it's not against them. And it's not anti-North.
I wonder why anybody would want to have that kind of sentiment. Sorry, sir.
It's going to decide the institution. It's not a follower of Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa.
Because of the time we have for this interview, let us move on. I like the perspective at which you have brought the state police thing, you know, the sentiments or the reasoning behind why you support state policing. But with the kind of crisis we're facing now, can we go through all the constitutional procedures to put in the state police without Mr. President declaring a state of emergency on security in Nigeria?
At the first stage, if you declare that emergency, the first stage is first to admit that there's a crisis in the institution, in the structure of the state police. That's the first stage.
No. I'm talking about insecurity generally.
Yeah.
And if we want to do, we know the processes of getting the state police approved from one state to the other. It is cumbersome. It will take like 1.5 years if it's fast.
Yes.
You know?
And that's
but can we wait for 1.5 years with the kind of abductions we're having, the insecurity?
But with what is happening now?
With what is happening now, we need something fast.
See, that's the parliament. You have to talk to the parliament. And you see, political culture is what determines the kind of structure you run. State police is not my opinion. The kind of political structure you will run is depending on your political culture. So if we say weak center, it's not my opinion. It's who we have. America is running a system. So state police is not my opinion. It's the peculiarity of our country that determines that. Plateau people need to defend themselves. Let there be casualty on both sides. In Eruku, if there are local government police, there are about 10 people that came there. They won't dare it. They will think twice. So this onslaught, we have to, you see, we don't have to mystify that creation of state police. There will be a law, which is one of the fears I want to address about state police. The federal police will still be the captain of our policing system in Nigeria. There will be a law, because that's why the government make that error all the time. When they want to introduce a concept that's been sold them by the people, they don't call experts. Obasanjo wanted to do the conference we spoke about. He gathered his friends and we were talking about Nigeria. They became enemy at the end of the day. Jonathan wanted to do his own. He didn't do it well. If you want to do state police is not forest police. Forest police is another photocopy of a Nigerian police. We are talking about homegrown security with peculiarity. So the law around it will indicate that anybody who wants to behave like Fubara, the federal police would have that power, that constitutional power, to federalize that police.
Yeah.
That's right.
Until the moment sanity will return. So the federal police has no fear. We are not saying that after doing it since 1960, no, that's not. What we are saying is that there's dignity in what you are doing than to be looking into the pot of soup of one Mr. Here and Big It's local police that should be doing that.
Yes.
And you know, smaller crime is what becomes bigger crimes. If local government could curb pickpockets, post snatchers, wanted in their locality, there will be no recruitment for banditry. Bandits don't become bandits one day. They are recruited from people they have recognized that this is the material. That's the material. So armed robbers too really start carrying gun one day. They start from street urchins, area boys. So, but the local must do their work to prevent that recruitment to get to a higher level. And that's why that sequence, we have to recognize it. That once at that local level, we are giving the police in Nigeria too much work to do. They will do local work. They will enforce state laws. They will still be enforcing. And for the VIPs, they deserve security.
But don't they abuse it oftentimes? We've seen them abuse it.
Should recognize that VIP deserve security. And that's why there must be local state police. It shouldn't be our federal police that should be guiding our state assembly.
No, but if it happens like this, then
it shouldn't be our federal police that should be guiding local government chairman now. There should be local police that should be guiding the local government.
Mr. Razak, are you saying that the state police should be for the VIPs? I need you to clarify.
Yes.
But it will be abused because that was the conversation we were having before.
No. Everybody deserves it as you are now. You can pay to the police officer to train someone for you to be going about with you.
But not the police officer himself.
Yes, that's what you are saying. That's why there should be compliments. We have to compliment a trained police officer. You don't have what you train a police officer. You will not be following one person around. It's an asset.
That's right.
So we need to train men for that exercise. 10 police officers to one individual in Nigeria. No, it's wrong. If federal police, we need to give them that respect that they deserve. They are an instrument. They are a national asset.
Yeah.
So let's have a layer of so that it will cater for the VIPs.
Yeah. Right. So now looking at IGP Egbetokun, he said something, and I want to lump two questions into one. You know, he actually cited 214 subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended that the Nigerian police force should be strengthened and better funded instead of creating state police, so that there is a whole lot of things that we need to go about. You mentioned the Constitution as well, but one thing I'm also concerned about is the traditional means of securing our people, which we used to have back in the day before the advent of democracy, unitary federal system of government that we are practicing. We used to have the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò who would stand guard for his people. We have another one now currently, and we used to have all these local securities, always protecting our people. Why is it that all these things are happening? Now people are threatening the Southwest. We've seen what happened in the North and all of that. They also used to have their own security. Why is it that all these things are happening, but the so-called traditional leaders that we have, they are more political than being traditional?
You see, they get messed up the moment we pronounce unity system, where we have just one stick to control Nigeria. You can't control a country with multi-identity. It's not possible. And that is why one of the founders of Amateco, co-founder with the governors. You see, every region must design its own security system, which comes to the question of Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Every region will recognize its role, but the Constitution is barring us. Southwest can secure its own region effectively. But I am shocked that Nigerians don't want that to happen. You see, the moment we start seeing price of food coming down, there's an increase in that insurgency. And people are being told that they are going to have a country if those guys succeed. So there should be a peculiar system for each state. In our own region, we recognize the office of our Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. In your own region, if you don't want it, that's what makes a country. In the Parliament of India, that they say as one policing system, India, they speak 4 languages there. That's their political culture. So in Nigeria, there must be permission for people, me and you, to be able to defend. There must be that constitutional right for me to be able to some level. If I start carrying AK-47, that's not it. But to some level, there must be that permission.
By strengthening bylaws, we're defining what bylaws actually mean.
Yes, there must be that law that to protect in a community, to have their own community police. maybe it's a 1 rand gun, 2 rand gun that we give to them. At state, it should be 10 rand gun. There should be that category. So that before you go to the army, that means that thing has
Mr. Because of our
but that's not the case now.
Yeah.
In Nigerian army, you see him following someone in the political class. That's not correct.
Mr. Razak, because of our time, I just want to take us back to the fact that we wake up every morning and it's one bad thing or the other. If state policing is what we need, what are we waiting for? Because it seems like we've been talking, but why are we not putting action? Because even as at this morning, I hear something again has happened. So do we keep just talking and things can happen and keep talking? Like, what is really going on? If we know that state policing is going to help, what is holding it back?
Well, the bandits want to crack our sovereignty. I've said that. We give this sovereignty to Tinubu now. They want to crack it. They want people to come and take permission for them to do naming ceremony. That's dangerous. That's where they are going. The moment Trump said what he said, they're happy about it. That means their struggle has advanced.
So you think that Trump's call, which was supposed to be a wake-up call to us to fight insecurity, is now what's making more insecurity?
And that should wake us up, like you have said. It has to wake us up. And that is why, when I listened to Commission on Friday, I knew there are genuine fears. Before then, I was shocked that why will ID be saying that there should be no state police? But after listening to the commissioner, he pointed out some areas, which is part of this I'm addressing this morning, that there is no how moral issue everywhere is in university. There's no how a police in state will look away from their son committing crime. No, it's not possible. It's a moral everywhere. There's morality. It is not only the police institution that can see moral in us. The local police will do it even better. When there are bigger crime, is when we need a bigger instrument to curb it, and it will be called. There will be crisis in jurisdiction. CIA and New York police used to fight over is my criminal, is your criminal. But our law will spell it out. Our law will sort out. Once we have
you're actually not taking a position the way I'm saying. You're talking about the IGP, talking about this and that.
No, what I'm saying is that I'm in support of state police.
Okay.
But the fear they have, I didn't take serious until I listened to them. So that fear should be addressed.
You to
No. What I'm saying is that the fear should be addressed. One of the fear is that it might be abused.
Which
and I said it cannot be
yeah.
abused. Once it is spelled out that a state crime and a federal crime is committed, who do we treat for? Is our law that spell that out. And there's no how a state police can become an asset to the governor. Once the federal police become the monitor, when just like a federal parliament has the right to take over the state parliament when they start off.
But is it still Abuja that will give them the marching order?
No. The state governor, just do the president spend the budget of governors for them? Do they appoint commissioner for them?
Some states are making more money, others are not making as much as money.
There's no state in the country that does not have capacity to be able to fend for itself.
Yeah.
It's just
where does budget for state policing? Because it's very huge. Security is big business when it comes to
that is why we need governors that can think out of the box, like the governors in Lagos. That the governors in Port Harcourt that can take out of. You can't be coming to government and expecting money from Abuja all the time.
What about other states that do not have the capacity?
Let us look at
that don't have the capacity. Other states that do not have the capacity.
Then the state should match another state. Then you don't have the capacity to defend yourself as a state. Then you should match another state.
I don't think there's any state in Nigeria that does not have the capacity.
Because that's the excuse they give.
Policing is not. It's a lot of money as well.
It's not a lot of money.
Let us look at this thing.
It's not a lot of money because they are sitting on resources. All the states in Nigeria. We have document that spell it out. There's no state in this country that does not. Nigeria has over 4% of the world resources buried under the ground and spread across the states. It's just indulging attitude of collecting money from Abuja all the time, which will bring us to the question of the derivation formula. As long as we do that, population, national database will not be correct because there will be fictitious name. We will increase the money that we want to collect in Abuja. We won't have national database. But when state generates their money and pay tax to federal government, everything will stand still. Everything will be correct. Everything will fall in place.
You just took it out of my mouth because I wanted.
Everything will fall in place.
I wanted to ask you. Look, if we decide to start practicing true federalism, won't it speed up all these things we're discussing?
Yes, it will speed it up, and that's why the people who have fear for genuine federalism, our brothers in the north, we have to see them carefully and explain to them that The best time the Northerners prospered most was between 1960 to 66,
yes,
when they were genuine federalism.
Yes.
Any Northerner that is opposed to federalism now is not from the school of thought of Sardauna and Amadu Bello. He's just a lazy Northern elite. He's going to guarantee their institution. He's going to make the Northerners prosper. But the few elites who benefit from what is happening in the North today are the ones who are opposed to instruction. There's no way what the president is doing that is opposed to the Northern. In fact, it makes the Northern more prosperous.
Before we go, just one last question before we go. On social media, people do not even trust the police force again. You know, I was reading when they said, you know, some people have been rescued, and you need to see the comments. Oh, it's a lie, it's not true. What can we do as a country to also make the citizens believe in the police force? Because we're talking about state police and all of that. But if our people do not believe, you know, how do we go further?
That's why they should steer away from what is not their responsibility. Defending the whole of Nigeria is not the responsibility of federal police. You have to enforce federal laws. Leave the defense and security of the state to the state. The moment it is you that go and settle Mr. A and B is fighting his wife, it's a disrespect to our national, to the federal police. When someone steals grain, it's federal police. How can they trust them?
Wow.
And there's no machinery for them to be able to solve it. The federal is a bigger picture. And I think the federal police begin to see it in this perspective, that as long as you continue in this, there will be no respect for you. Yes. Limit yourself to things that will bring dignity to you.
Of course. It's a very beautiful place to leave the conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Razak. It's always beautiful to have you on the show. We will continue talking about it until the government finally hears our cry. But still ahead on TVC Breakfast, with insecurity rising across several regions, President Tinubu pledges a tougher crackdown on terrorists and bandits. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.